Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Laura Wilkie with Down Home with Lemon Pie, and this is our Term 2 update for our homeschool year of 2021-2022. All right, guys, welcome back. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. Please subscribe. I am excited that you're here, and if this is your first video to watch with us, you may want to go back and see some of the other videos where I have shared with you guys the curriculums that we are using this school year. I have also shared, just a few days ago, I shared a video where I showed you guys just kind of a photo album collection, I guess, of pictures I have taken from this second term. In our homeschool, we actually do 6 weeks. We do a Sabbath schooling. So we do 6 weeks of school and then we do 1 week off. Because of some other things that we had planned, this term was actually 7 weeks. And then this is our week off, and next term will only be 5. So that actually works out better because in term 3, around that time, we are expecting baby number 7. I currently have 6 kiddos between the ages of 3 and 10, including a set of twins. All right, guys, so we are actually using My Father's World Creation to the Greeks. We're using the older teacher manual, which looks like this, because I'm a thrifty mama and I like to find a deal, and this is the one that I found for the best deal. So this is the one we're using. For term 2, we actually did weeks 5 through 13. We had already completed weeks 1 through 4 in term 1, and so we got to do the next section, and for me, it was a little bit draggy. There's only so much about the Egyptians that I really care to know, and it kind of went really, really deep into that. That could be because I'm pregnant. We're nearing the end of the pregnancy, and I'm just kind of over some of that. But yeah, I think the kids were kind of feeling it too. So week 13, we did a little bit differently. We did talk about the plagues. We did not do the frog activity that the curriculum suggests. Instead, I had the kids hunt around the house and find things that represented each of the plagues, and that is the way we learned them instead, which I thought was more comprehensive of all of the plagues versus just focusing on the frogs. So that was how we did that. If you haven't already, like I said, go back and check out the photo album if you want to see how that went down, or any of the other pictures from this term. I have them there. Unfortunately, I got started off really good, getting lots of pictures, and I ended really good, but I really don't have a lot of pictures from the middle of our term for this term. So I'm kind of missing some, and I guess that's okay, but I need to get better at that. So with my little guys, my kinder and preschoolers are all doing this God's Amazing World from Apples to Zebra, where it's also by My Father's World, but this is just the science book that goes with that program. We're not doing the full program because we're doing a couple other things that go along with it, and we're doing a whole year on ABCs. I will link that video if you want to know more about that. But for this, we did letters A through F. We only did the first 6 letters in the alphabet, even though we had 7 weeks, because there was a little bit in there that we weren't able to get to. So that extra week actually gave us time to kind of make that up. So that ended up being really good for us. But we did, oh my gosh, we did all things Apple. If you want to know all the things, go back to that photo album because they are all there. We did so much Apple things. Butterfly too, we did all the things butterfly. We did a little bit less on cows because we live on a farm and we know about cows. We have cows, so we did a little less there. D for dinosaur, we did a lot less actually, because in term 1 we focused almost primarily on dinosaurs. So dinosaurs was covered. The next one was E is for elephant. And would you believe that when I thought my little kindergartner was not listening to me reading about how to tell the difference between African and Asian elephants. He asked me just the other day, which was maybe 3 weeks since we had done this elephant lesson. He said, what was it again with their ears, how you tell the difference between the African and the Asian elephants? So I was excited because he was listening, and I was excited that I was able to recall that information quickly for him and give him that information. And we did just a little bit on frogs because we have learned about frogs in the past a lot. So I didn't really focus on things that we had already done. Like, I didn't want to be redundant. We've gotten a little bit behind on our kindergarten stories books that I am still in love with it, but we're a little bit behind on it because, like I said in another video, it has it mapped out like which stories to read which week of which month. Does that make sense? So it says like first week of September, read these stories. First week of, or second week of September, read these. We're a little behind because some of them, it had a whole bunch, more than I could really tackle in a week with everything else. So that's okay. I'm not going to dwell on that much. I might skip a couple as we go to kind of make up for it, or I may just go at a slower pace. We'll see what happens. We are cruising through this one kind of on, we're doing this at morning time and kind of on an as we can basis, if that makes any sense. Nevertheless, we were able to get, I think, animals 11 through 20 completed. There's 44 animals in this book. So we did the first 10 in term 1, and we did the second 10. Somehow it worked out that way in term 2, and I'm loving it so much. It's just little blurbs about an animal that has been mentioned in the Bible. It talks usually about where it is in the Bible, where they talk about it, and then just some scientific facts about it. And I'm loving it. It doesn't take long, but I do like that it's just kind of exposing us to some familiar animals, but some animals that aren't as familiar to us. Like, for example, the kite, for example, we were not familiar with. So it was fun for us to learn a little bit about that and just kind of broaden our knowledge. We are also doing in morning time theology. This one is kind of how we start our morning time, our whole school day, and I'm still loving it. It is still really good. We are about, you can see, about halfway through, so that is wonderful news. Obviously it's not going to take up the whole school year, so that's actually good for me because it means I don't have to stress if there's a day we have to miss it. But the pictures are beautiful, guys. Like, check them out. They're so beautiful. So I'm loving that. Because of the ages of the little ones that I have, we are not looking up all these Bible verses that it gives you on this side. We're not actually going and looking those up, but we are reading the little devotional and the verses here as we go and discussing it. So that is really helpful for us. Most of that information my kids already know because we're a Bible believing family, and they've just grown up with so much of that already. But you never know where the holes are in their understanding, or where they've kind of misunderstood or misplaced things in their mind or whatever. And so I'm liking that it's just that solid framework just continuing to be ingrained in them. Okay, so we do this book a lot in our curriculum. We actually really, really like it so much. I was a little concerned because I wasn't sure if it was going to be over their heads, but it is spot on perfect for not only my own education, but for my older 2 girls who are 5th and 3rd grade. And my little guys are getting a lot out of it too. They're kinder and 2nd, and they're learning so much too about it, and it's just so good. It has pictures of places that are mentioned in the Bible, so as you talk about them, it has maps, which we're actually using our other maps book to kind of help us because this is kind of hard for them to understand where that is on the whole world map. So we're using our other maps as well. But it has some cool things, guys. Cool things. Like that one I just showed you where the slopes of Mount Sinai, that's cool. And the bush where they're thinking perhaps the burning bush was from Moses. Just cool things like that. There's just lots of interesting things that sometimes we don't understand in the Bible, and we just kind of pass over them without really fully grasping what they are. It talked about the signet ring and in the Bible a lot, and then here it showed us like exactly what that may have looked like. So that was exciting to kind of put more specific details to things that we have already learned about. And so the girls are enjoying this. I'm enjoying it. Some of our weeks or some of our days we are combining because, like I said, we're expecting a baby. So that is why we got so many weeks in this past term. We took a couple weeks and we combined them. They didn't necessarily have a lot of assignments in them, which if we were doing this straight out of the book as it's written, I would probably be wanting for more for them. But I don't know, maybe not, because with the other things that they have already, like grammar and reading and science and just all the things, maybe it would be enough. But I felt like we were wanting a little in this version. So I am instead just combining weeks or days. Like I'll do Monday and Tuesday together as one day, or we might do Monday, Tuesday, and try to get almost the whole week completed as far as the readings go and things. There's not a lot to it, so it really doesn't take us very long. Ancient Egypt has some crafts, but they're really complicated and in depth. So we have not done a lot of these. We are picking a couple, and the ones that we are doing, we're trying to do more thoroughly and well done versus trying to race through a whole bunch of them. So they did do the water clocks. You can see pictures of that in our photo album video. They did also they painted the clay pots that they made in term 1. So in term 2, we painted them. Then, yeah, that's the water clock. So we did do that one. We did the clay pots. We did this, but I didn't get a picture of it before my little ones, my little 3-year-olds kind of added their own art to it. But they did do that. The hieroglyphs and the writing, the girls did that. We did not do this one. The weaving we didn't do. Although my daughter is asking for a weaving loom for Christmas, so she may do something and kind of cover that topic, I guess, at some point. I would like for them to do this one. I think they could easily do this one and create some cool boats and then see if they'll float, but they haven't gotten to that one yet. So there's a couple things. They talked about doing this where you can make the armor and the shields and the things that were typical of that time period. We instead did we had a kit where they could carve out an artifact, an Egyptian artifact. So they did that. You can see pictures in the photo album video, and they all enjoyed that. The only problem with that was there was only one thing that came out of it, and they were all wanting for more because they wanted to each have an artifact, and there was just one big one. So I guess that's a good thing that they wanted to do it again. So I'm going to look for something else that they can kind of enrich that. We're also doing this book a lot, Ancient World. It's pretty good. It's informative but it's a lot of redundant from this book, and also there's another one, Streams of Civilization. Each of these books, over time, it starts to get a little bit redundant. So if it covers fairly more or less the same information, I'm actually skimming it myself and saying, okay, we're going to skip that, because they don't want to sit and listen to the same lesson twice in a row, and nor do I want to teach it, and nor do I have the patience or time. So a lot of that I'm kind of using my own discretion. Greek lessons, though, are going really, really well. English from the roots up. I was a little intimidated. We're not doing it exactly like it says in the handbook, okay? I've seen some people in the forum on Facebook for this group talking about they're having a hard time with it and different things. We are not having a hard time. I am writing the cards like we have. I don't think I brought them over here, but I'm writing the cards, and then I'm just calling out the words. I'm looking for them to have an understanding of like that root word. So for example, the word phobos, I'm looking for them to be able to say, tell me what that means. So they are able to say fear. So I'm doing it more of a vocabulary flashcard. And then sometimes I will say, okay, give me a word that comes from the word phobos. And I'm expecting them to say something like a phobia of some sort. And because we're reviewing them every single day, they're learning them and they're doing fine. There are some little tests in the file section of the Facebook group where you can print out little tests, and the girls have taken 2 tests and they have aced them both. So I know they're learning. I already knew they were learning it because even my boys can call out a lot of these. Like when I say kinesis, they're expected to say movement, and then I will review, you know, okay, movement. For example, the word cinema is, and then they'll tell me, oh, that's moving pictures. So that is the way we are doing it. We're doing it completely orally, except for the girls are doing the flashcards, but that is it. We're not doing the part where they have to look it up in the dictionary. We're not doing the part where they have to write sentences. Some of that we do orally, and some of it we're just skipping. Okay, we did two festivals this term, Days of Awe and Sukkot. Sukkot kind of snuck up on us, and I was not expecting it, but we had already planned to make a harvest pie, basically, and my daughter made that, and had already made that by the time I realized it was time to start celebrating it. And when I read what Sukkot was, what we were celebrating, and information about building a temporary home outside, it just fell perfectly in our laps, as so often our homeschool does. When we have a homeschool that I truly believe God is directing and guiding us, and this was just another example of that. So the kids actually asked a few days prior to that. Come here. They asked a few days prior to that if they could start building because the weather was cooling off, if they could start working on their outdoor hideout is what they call it. And I told them, yeah, go work on your hideout. So they worked on their hideout while I researched what Sukkot was. And I found out that it was all about having kind of a temporary outdoor living space, which I thought was perfect because they've been working on their hideout. And so we went out together as a group. Dad came and helped them with rig up some fun things. And we enjoyed some fall foods and the little pie that we had made, and just kind of spent the day outdoors. You can see all the pictures of that in that same photo album video, which is linked below. But it was just really fun, and I love when things happen like that, when God just kind of directs your homeschool and everything falls into place. So that is exactly what happened. We have been reading Star of Light. We haven't gotten that far into it. It is not so far. We are not as far as we should be according to the teacher's manual, but it is not so far as good as I thought the other book was that we read before this one. So the other book by Patricia St. John was, what was it called? I can't even remember now, and it was so good. Tanglewood Secret, that's what it was. This one so far I'm not as impressed with, but like I said, we are not that far. We've only read the first 3 chapters, and it's kind of draggy for me, and I think for the kids, so we've kind of forgotten about it, and we're going to come back to it, but I'm hoping that I'll get the momentum going again with that one. I am loving this still, God in the History of Art. My girls, not so much. The way we're doing this, instead of doing, I think it has in the manual twice a week. I'm just combining those lessons into one day. And because my girls are not enjoying it, I am enjoying it. I still think it's very, 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 very good. But the part they don't like is that we haven't gotten to painting. So we're doing both lessons for the week in one day for this. And then on the second day, I'm letting them do some other activity that involves painting, like painting their clay pots or painting something from another activity or another, we have the Good and the Beautiful's craft book that I'm doing with my little guys. So sometimes I'm letting the girls do that or just painting whatever they want. But they want to do more painting. So that's what we're doing. We did start the Brahms Book Buddy program. I hadn't talked about this because I was not expecting us to actually get approved for it. You have to get approved and then they mail you the stuff. And they did get approved. And what they do is they read. And when they read a book, they put a sticker. And once they read 6 stickers, they earn the corresponding prize. So for this stickers, she earns a single dip cone. Here is a frozen yogurt cone, and it goes on. Some of it is kids' meals. It's really exciting. So this came in the mail about a month ago. We signed up about a month prior to that. And I kind of forgot about it. But then it came in the mail, and I kid you not, all 4 of my big kids, which are the 4 that are old enough to participate, jumped on it immediately that same day upon me opening it from the mailbox. They all started reading. So it is a huge incentive. If you have a Brahms near you, sign up for the Brahms Book Buddy for next year. So maybe set a reminder or something. I don't know. You had to sign up. I think it was in September maybe or August. And then, like I said, the supplies just came and you had to be approved. It was a whole thing. But I'm glad that they're participating. We have a Brahms right down the road. So the kids are excited about that. We have been doing Apologia Science. I'm still loving it. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but we are loving it so much. Again, we are just breezing through. They have little things here, and this is the junior version of the workbook, which is the one that I kind of recommend because it is more fun activities versus just a bunch of writing, and the girls are loving it. They think this is fun, so we're enjoying that. And last but not least, I started the Level K Kinder book with Reading with My Kindergartner. This is from the Good and the Beautiful. I did a review. We already finished the primer, and I did a review on that one. I'll link the video below if you want to go check that out. And this is going really well. Some days, if he is doing really great, we're doing 2 lessons in one day. Other days, if he's not feeling it, we're only doing 1 lesson. I'm trying not to skip a lesson, like skip a day. So we are trying to do at least 1 lesson, sometimes 2. This is my daughter's cat. I should share with you. And she is looking for my daughter. My daughter's not here. So her poor kitty is looking for her. That's why you hear her. And she joined me in here. I couldn't believe she wanted to come in here. But anyway, she wanted to come in here. And now I think maybe she thought my daughter was in here and she's not. So anyways, sorry about that distraction. But term 2 has gone well. It was 7 weeks, like I said, instead of 6. I am totally ready for the break. This is our Sabbath week, so we're taking a week off. I am so ready for it. We are starting to prepare for baby. If you want to see how that is going, I have baby week coming up next week. Every single day there will be a new video preparing for our new little baby who is coming probably around Thanksgiving. That's the plan. So look for that. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm so glad that you guys are on this journey with us. If you haven't already, please subscribe.